70,000 years ago, a man sits alone by a fire that's almost out. The camp is sleeping. He's looking at a child. Not his child, maybe. Possibly not his child. And he's turning something over in his hands. A stone tool. A weapon. A decision. Because something in him, something older than loyalty, older than marriage, older than the word husband, has been whispering for weeks that this child does not carry his blood. And tonight, he's deciding what to do about it. He doesn't have a paternity test. He doesn't have proof. He has only the alarm going off somewhere deep in his chest, and in the next few minutes, what he decides to do about that alarm will echo down 70,000 years, all the way into your body right now. Before we open it, if you've ever felt that jealousy you couldn't explain, you're going to recognize yourself in this one. Subscribe and stay on the case. You'll want to see where it leads. Today we open the file on the oldest betrayal, not the romance, not the love, the cheating, and the brutal calculation our ancestors made when it happened. Because infidelity wasn't just an emotional wound for ancient humans, it was a genetic one, a resource one, a survival one. And the way they punished it, tolerated it, and quietly committed it built the jealous, suspicious, fiercely possessive machinery you carry inside you today. We'll follow 3 pieces of evidence. Stay on the case. Here's the first piece of evidence, and it's uncomfortable. A woman always knows her child is hers. She carried it. She delivered it. The certainty is total. A man never knows. Not really. Not in a world before science. He could provide for a child for 15 years, feed it, protect it, teach it to hunt, and never be certain a single one of his genes lived inside it. Sit with that. From a cold evolutionary standpoint, that's the worst possible outcome. Pouring everything you have into carrying another man's genetic legacy into the future, while your own dies with you. So evolution did something ruthless. It built an alarm. The men who didn't care, who shrugged when another man looked at their partner, who felt nothing when the child arrived early. Those men more often raised children who weren't theirs. Their indifference wasn't passed on, but the jealous ones, the suspicious ones, the ones who watched, who guarded, who couldn't let it go, they protected their bloodline. And their descendants are watching this right now. You come from the jealous ones. That tightness you feel when your partner laughs too long at someone else's joke, that isn't insecurity. That's a 70,000-year-old security system, still armed. Here's where the official story cracks. Because we talk about the jealous man, we rarely talk about why she might have done it in the first place. And the evidence here is far darker and far more strategic than anyone wants to admit. For an ancient woman, a single mate was a single bet. One man's genes, one man's ability to provide. And if that bet was wrong, if he was weak or infertile or a poor provider, her children paid for it. So a quiet strategy emerged. Pair with the reliable provider. The steady one who stays, who shares the food, who guards the camp. But for the child itself, the genes, sometimes seek out the stronger one, the better hunter, the healthier body, the man with the traits worth passing on. It's cold, it's calculating, and it worked. The women who hedged their bets, security from one man, genetics from another, sometimes raised stronger children who survived. Children whose descendants are, again, watching this right now. This is the part that gets left out. Infidelity wasn't only betrayal. For both sexes, it was sometimes a survival strategy. A genetic gamble played in the dark with the whole future of a bloodline on the table. Hold on to that, because it explains the next piece of evidence, the violence. And if this is the first file you've opened, this is what we do here every week. One buried instinct dragged into the light. The evidence room's filling up. Now, the violence. What did they actually do when the alarm went off? When a man became certain or a group discovered it, the response was rarely quiet. Across the archaeological and anthropological record, the punishment for infidelity is one of the most consistent things we find. Exile, beating, mutilation, sometimes death. Not because ancient humans were uniquely cruel, but because the stakes were genetic. And genetic stakes are the highest stakes evolution knows. And notice who paid most. The punishment almost always fell heaviest on the woman, and on the man who intruded. The boundary being enforced wasn't about love, it was about lineage, about certainty, about a man protecting the one thing he could never verify. The group enforced it too. Because in a camp of 30 people, one betrayal could fracture alliances, trigger violence, split the tribe in half. Infidelity wasn't a private matter. It was a threat to the whole group's survival. So the whole group had a stake in punishing it. That's why even today, betrayal feels like more than a personal wound. It feels like a violation of something larger, because for 70,000 years it was. So what's the verdict? Ancient humans did all of it. They cheated, strategically in the dark, hedging their genetic bets. And they punished cheating violently, publicly, ruthlessly. The same species ran both programs at once, the betrayer and the avenger, living in the same camp, often in the same body. And here's why this file still matters. That war never ended. It just moved inside you. The jealousy you feel is the avenger. The wandering eye you don't admit to is the strategist. Both are ancient. Both are yours. You like to believe your relationships are built on choice, on trust, on love freely given. And maybe they are. But underneath that, the old machinery is still running, guarding, suspecting, calculating, exactly as it did 70,000 years ago at the mouth of a cave. You are not above your instincts. You are the result of the ones that survived. Case closed. If this file got under your skin, there's another one waiting in the evidence room. Subscribe. Stay on the case. The investigation continues.